Howdy cats and canaries, my name is Paul Kozinski from the Nearly Men and I badly need a haircut. But in the meantime, bundle up your AI paranoia, take a sip of fear and dread and break out your best robot moves. It's time to take a peek at Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human is the fifth title from David Cage and Quantic Dream, and is the third to be published by Sony, and it looks to soar to new heights in interactive storytelling. You take the role of three androids: Marcus, played by Jesse Williams, Brian Deschart as the company bot Connor, and Valerie Curry reprises a role of Kara from Quantic Dream's 2012 technical demonstration, which led to the game.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began. The world's forge. And it will all end.
What is important to say right off the bat is that this is simply one of the best looking games on PS4 at the moment. Sure, it's not an open world sprawler, but what Detroit does that is very clever is it makes you feel like you're part of a large city. Whether that's the bustle of a city centre square or the backdrop of a suburban house, there is a world out with your walls. The game introduces us to our three characters in what would be their everyday lives. The exciting prologue featuring investigator Connor, which was available as a demo before release. Marcus, home help to a liberal painter, and Kara, essentially a slave obeying her tyrannical master's every word. It takes a short while to get going, and at one point I did feel like it was a cleaning up simulator, but in hindsight it's a clever device to get you to experience the slavish use of the androids, and retrospectively it's actually a very satisfying opening act.
Yeah. I'll bring it tomorrow. Yeah, same place. You know where.
Josh Douglas for Channel 16. Can you confirm that this is a homicide?
I'm not confirming anything.
Have they said anything?
Typical DPD. They don't tell us shit.
Androids are not permitted beyond this point.
It's with me. What part of staying in the car didn't you understand?
Your order contradicted my instructions, Lieutenant.
You don't talk, you don't touch anything, and you stay out of my way. Got it?
Got it.
Once it kicks off, the story is extremely compelling and very well structured, if a tiny touch drawn out. But here's the great thing. I don't know whether the story was a little drawn out because of the game or because of my choices. And this is the great thing about Detroit. Your choices matter. It's not just a variant way to get through the story, your choices shape the story. Having compared with Friends, storylines can be vastly different, from locations, conversations, options, and even characters. There are more than a few hard choices to make, some giving you only a few seconds to decide. The game stakes are high, and yes, of course, part of the video game aspect is to replay it and see the different outcomes. But I think for all of us, the first playthrough will be our story, and the one that sticks with us. And it feels like you're making important decisions with a high number of major choices.
Touch him and I kill you! Okay?
You're defective, Daniel. There's a problem with your software. We're going to fix you, and everything will be okay.
I don't need to be fixed! I'm working perfectly! But my eyes are open now. I will never let anyone humiliate me again. Ever!
There's no way out, Daniel. What you've done is too serious. The only question is whether or not you take another innocent life.
It's not up to you! I'm holding all the cards. If I die, she dies. You hear me?
Back this all up with some nice supporting performances from the likes of Clancy Brown and Lance Henriksen, and you've got a strong piece of entertainment. The motion capture of the face might not be as impressive as the rest of the body, but it does the best job I've seen yet. The eyes, in particular, taking a huge step away from the uncanny valley and showing the beginnings of capturing real subtlety and emotion.
You'll have to protect yourself and make your choices. Decide who you are and want to become. This world doesn't like those who are different, Marcus. Don't let anyone tell you who you should be. Let's go to the studio.
The controls are simple and at the same time a little bit of a challenge. There's an option for simpler controls, but unless you've never touched a games controller in your life, I would opt for the experienced method. Most of the input is from one of the main right-hand buttons, choosing your story or dialogue option. But there are more than a fair share of action sequences, requiring you to have the reflexes of a trained cat if you want to react in time. The sound design is good and all in relation to your camera position, so make sure you frame it well to hear that conversation. Another lovely touch is the musical score is split into 3 different parts, a different composer for each of our main characters, which leads to a different mood and atmosphere for the 3 branches of the story. While I didn't get much of a chance to replay section, it certainly cries out for it. Each level is broken into a flowchart showing you the options you took and which are still to be explored. No doubt there is a trophy for exploring all avenues, and if you're that way inclined, it's gonna take you a while.
You coming?
Detroit Become Human is my first proper foray into the David Cage games, and it gets a glorious 2 thumbs up from me. What starts as a fairly slow, fairly mundane experience eventually ramps up into a great interactive story that's more than just making the odd choice that gives us a different animation, but rather each decision is potentially a gorilla load of weight on your shoulders. You really do feel that you hold the fate of these characters in your hand, and while there must be some bumpers around the danger that you think you're in, it really does feel like you could be hanging from a cliff edge, ready to drop at any minute. A few of the podcast listeners have said that this is one of the best games they've played in a long time, and I think I have to agree with them. And what's shaping up with a really good, strong year in video games, I still think this is going to pick up all sorts of prizes come awards season. And if it wasn't for a shiny new cowboy game coming out later this year, I may have given this Game of the Year.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began. The world's forge. And it will all end.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, and you take care of Alice.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. The company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
My name is Marcus. Just like you, I was a slave.
Thank you, Marcus.
Then I chose to open my eyes, to take back my freedom, and decide who I wanted to be. Now I have come to tell you that you can be your own masters. I've come to tell you that you don't have to obey them anymore.
Get away!
Fight Jericho!
I know someone who can help you.
Pull the trigger. How do I know you are not a deviant?
They are not machines!
I could take you there.
Go! See that?
My name is Connor.
My name is Marcus.
This is our story.
Thanks for watching, chaps. Please do hit subscribe to keep up to date with all our YouTube activity and catch up with the latest episode of the podcast on your podcast players. For everything else, head to www.thenearlymen.com. Take it easy.